Hello and welcome to my channel. I am Axel and this is Quarantine Science. We are currently in a national lockdown, so I decided to create this channel explaining difficult and hard subjects to people that are interested in those. I also like to debunk myths and everything that has to do something with science. I like and I will do and explain. If you have any suggestions or subjects you want me to talk about, please leave them down in the comments below and I will make sure to do some research on them. So, today we'll be talking about why overpopulation is a myth, in my opinion. Well, I cannot prove that it is a myth, but I can give you a couple of reasons why I think it's a myth that have proof with them. Reason number one is that there is plenty of food on Earth. We produce enough food to feed 10 billion people. So it's a common misunderstanding that we cannot feed the entire population, because we definitely can. You might be wondering then, why are people in Africa starving? Why are people in developing countries starving? Well, this is a way different reason than you might think. This is a not very well known problem. It's actually the export that's the problem. I will explain. The real reason people aren't starving is the lack of food, but as I said, the lack of export. In the US alone, there's more food also wasted to feed some of the entire developing countries, which is really bad. This is because we took food and resources from Africa. For example, in Africa they don't eat bananas because they grow them to sell them. The farmers don't get paid enough to buy their own bananas or their own food, so they have to produce their own food. The rich aren't lacking, though, because most of the money that's earned by the farmers and by all workers is going to the political systems and the royalties in Africa. That's why Africa is a poor country, because they keep most of the money for themselves. Well, you might be wondering, how come we have all the food and they don't? Well, as I said, we buy it from them. They don't have money to buy food back. So we have all the food and we waste it. That's why there's no food in Africa, but we have too much food. There are also more people with obesitas than there are starving people. There are about 2.1 billion people that have overweight or obesitas, and there are about 825 million people starving right now. Okay. So it's because of the political system in Africa and in developing countries, and not because of overpopulation, that there is starvation. I have also two fun facts about this, which I do have a source from. In India, about 30 to 40% of food is wasted because they lack cooling elements, which is also pretty interesting. They don't have refrigerators in the stores to cool it. Well, not in all stores. We produce enough food to feed 10 billion people. I said that before. Reason number two that I think there is no overpopulation: there's plenty of drinking water as well. Another misunderstanding is that there's not enough drinking water. This is in fact wrong. Obviously, the drinking water we have now will run out since the ocean water isn't drinkable. But there's plenty of ways to filter out the dirt. The reason people don't do this is because we lack the money and we are not developed enough in our technological senses. Well, we are, but they aren't. So they cannot filter out the dirt out of the water, so they don't have the ability to drink the ocean water, while we actually do. Another reason they don't have drinking water in development countries is the lack of rain, and the water is hidden in water pockets under the ground. Because of this, they can't drink or have to walk miles to be able to. In the Western world, the water we use is practically all going to the ocean and partially filtered out. So also a lot of this water is wasted. I don't know why we do that, but we shouldn't. Because that is the reason we have plenty of water and they don't. Just like food, this is the reason and not overpopulation. Reason number 3, and this is a well-known reason, is that the population growth will come to an end. As many of you already know, population growth is growing and has been growing intensively for the last 200 years. However, the growth is slowing as more and more development countries are getting fully developed. This can be proven by looking at facts and the Human Development Index. As you can see on this graph on the left, so right here, let's take for example Thailand. You can see that back in 1960 they had 6.4 children per woman. Now they only have 1.5. If this keeps going, overpopulation will never exist since the birth rate is getting closer and closer to 0. Keep in mind, the graph I showed you is from 2015. Since the world keeps developing, the new numbers will be even lower and they will keep lowering. Why is everyone so scared then, you might ask? Well, because the population is currently still growing, the Earth is suffering. We are exploiting Mother Earth for its resources and wasting it. This creates a lot of pollution. In other words, don't be scared about overpopulation, don't try to fix overpopulation. Try to fix the amount we waste and the amount we pollute. Then you will never ever have overpopulation, because there's plenty of place to grow crops and there's plenty of food to feed everyone. There's plenty of drinking water so everyone can drink. It's just not, well, divided. We have everything while they have nothing. So if we would help them develop, they would start doing the same as we are. So I will give you a very current, well, what's it called? Very current example. So we have been exploiting Africa for many years. We have been exploiting China for many years. Now China is getting more developed, and what China doing is it's getting more and more resources down from Africa. Then Africa will start developing and they will get more and more resources from other developing countries, and at a certain point this will cycle, which is now a cycle around, will come to a flat line. So what I mean by that is everyone will take care of their own. For now we don't mine our own resources, but in the future we will have to. Because every country will be developed. Africa will stop selling their resources as they are starting to see the value of it. They will stop exporting as much. They will not export as much is what I meant. They will also consume what they produce, which they aren't. Not all people in Africa. Obviously some of them are, because that's, well, how development works. One person gets this idea and all the other person follow. That's how development works. I have more proof down in the comments below. Well, no, not the comments, the description. I will post my paper that I created right here. I will post it on a blog and you will be able to read everything I said. I will also post all my evidence in that blog. If you enjoyed this video and would like to know more about how the Earth and everything outside of the Earth works, please leave a like and subscribe. I would also really appreciate some suggestions, since I don't have many subjects yet to talk about and I would like to do this on a daily basis. I would like to thank you for watching. So as I said before, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!